Game of Thrones crashed out harder than a bunch of CEOs suddenly becoming class conscious, but that doesn't mean that we didn't enjoy it for a while, so let's rank the seasons, shall we? Please remember this will be a vibes-based list meeting. These are just vibes, my vibes, how I feel. They don't have to be how you feel. It's okay if we're different. And if we disagree, like, oh no, that's truly horrible, but I think you'll survive. Starting on controversially, in last place, I am putting Season 5. Yes, I know Seasons 8 and 7 are right there, but please allow me to explain why Season 5 is the root of all our misery. Many people like to say that Game of Thrones got bad because, they ran out of source material. It's all George's fault, blah, blah, blah. And to that I say, no, they didn't. Because there is Season 5. To give you some context into how the books were adapted for the show. Book 1 turned into Season 1. Book 2 turned into Season 2. Book 3 was split into Seasons 3 and 4. So the third book covers 2 whole seasons. Season 5 right here? Season 5 is comprised of books 4 and 5. Now you might be saying, wait a second, Ronnie, they literally split up one book into 2 seasons because it was so long and there was so much material. Were books 4 and 5 just like abnormally short? No, they weren't. Book 5 is actually, I think, the same exact size as book 3, the one that took 2 seasons, and yet it gets shoved along with a whole nother book into 1 season. So I say that Season 5 is the root of all evil, the beginning of the end. It's because this is the point where they decided to stop adapting the existing material, which, butterfly affected into chaos. Season 5 did not set up half the storylines and half the characters that are currently existing in the books, meaning that later down the road, oh no, people are missing and they have key parts to play. And this isn't even going into the way that they gave Sansa a whole essay storyline that is not hers in the book. That happens to a different character. It's very tragic. It does not happen to Sansa, but of course, these writers hated Sansa, so this is what they do to her. And then don't get me started on Dorne. The Dornish plot is insane. It's psychotic. The good boozy line, like, what? I want to scream. Moving on, and yet somehow not feeling any better, we're gonna go with Season 8. Yes, for the obvious reasons. Season 8 is a failure on so many levels, but particularly the standout failure is the writing. The writing is nonsensical. None of these characters match their counterparts from previous seasons, let alone the books. Everyone has suddenly taken stupid pills so that they can all, meet arbitrary plot points that they're trying to get to like connect dots that we assume George gave them, but we don't know exactly which dots he gave them or not. And they pay off to a big fat nothing because, by this point we've been sapped of any engagement or logic, and then we're just, checking boxes and waiting for the damn thing to end. No one has a satisfying or logical ending. Tyrion is a nothing character that somehow gets to still be chill at the end. Dany, Jon, nothing. Bran, okay, what? Arya's a sailor now. Sansa's Queen in the North, cool. What? Bronn is the Lord of the Reach? I hate it here. Also, following the logic from, all the issues I have with Season 5, I want to say to anyone who's like, well, George gave them the ending and this is just his ending, and this isn't why he's, writing the new books because everyone got angry at his ending. This is not the ending. If you cut out half the characters and half the plot lines, and then, the author gives you what his ending was going to be, half of the things that lead to it are not there anymore. And that's not his fault, that's their fault. They didn't adapt books 4 and 5, basically. And so if certain plot points have to happen, they need to be reassigned to characters that are still existing within the show universe because, the actual person whose function is to carry out that plot point doesn't exist in the series. And we don't know what is the actual plot point that George gave them, and we don't know what is the connective tissue that they had to invent to connect the dots because they had not set it up in the same way that George did. And just to give you a for example, let me tell you that one of the plot lines that gets cut is another Targaryen claimant to the throne who is currently on a march of conquest to take Westeros and is very close to succeeding probably in the near future. And what do you know? That Targaryen claimant, he has a hand of the king who is there with him and helping him make all his decisions. But oh no, Jon Con, this hand of the king guy, he has grayscale. So, but he's hiding it. So he's slowly going crazy as grayscale does, but he's not letting anyone know. And so they are on their way to, march to King's Landing to take it over from Cersei while he is slowly going crazy. And wouldn't you know, the man has some trauma associated with the sound of bells from a previous battle that he was in Robert's Rebellion. A person slowly losing their mind and has trauma with bells. Why does that sound familiar? Oh, I'm sure it's unimportant. Someone else can do it, right? Don't come for me in the comments like, oh, you just don't want Danny to go. Danny, I don't know what's going to happen with Danny. But what I'm telling you is there is very clear setup with very similar elements that apply to other characters that were cut. Do you follow? Okay, moving on. Season 7. Season 7, honestly, I think might possibly have worse writing than Season 8, just in the sense that it's like boring. It is a weirdly boring season. You have the loot train right in the middle, which is like a weird place for there to basically be a climax, because it is. It's the only exciting part of that entire fucking season. And then it's just like over. It's over with like a pitiful, we got to hike beyond the wall for our sample wipe. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, Season 7, I probably, if I wasn't so angry at like the issues that seasons 8 and seasons 5 cause, season 7 would probably be in last place, based on just poor execution and writing, but you're here because your sins are bad but not catastrophic. Okay, season 6. Season 6, there's some fun moments, but again, the logic is gone by now. The catastrophe that is season 5 has really taken root here. The butterfly effect is, just spider webbing in every direction, and it's just chaos. But hey, it was fun to listen to Ramin's music while Cersei blew up the Sept, and yeah. Also, we find out Jon is a Targaryen, but, actually Bran finds out. Jon doesn't find out, even though, that reveal has to do with him. But no, he doesn't need to be told. It's fine. Yes, he's told later. But, again, make the reveal to the person who fucking matters, okay? Okay, this is where it gets hard, because I actually like most of these seasons now, now that we're out of the trash. But I'm going to say season 4 is at number 4. And I know that's controversial. People love season 4, and I like season 4 too, but I have a couple issues with it. Yes, Tyrion's trial is insane. It's so good. That scene is burned into my brain forever. Battle of Castle Black is very good. It's awesome. Oberyn Martell is in this season, and he has my heart. Pedro Pascal, I love you. Please, we're meant to be together, okay? But also, this is where some weird choices start being made, and especially in adaptation, what's included, what's not included in the story, and I just Tyrion starts to get softened in a very weird way here. We cut the reveal of his first wife Tysha, which is the actual reason that he goes and kills Tywin, and it just changes the flavor of that whole scene in a way that I do not like. There's some, again, weird choices with the Hound and Brienne, okay, and then what else? Lady Stoneheart is cut, which is, again, just so upsetting. What the fuck are you doing, guys? Give me my zombie Catelyn Stark. So yeah, mixed bag. But great moments. The moments that are good, they hit, okay? Next, I'm going to go with season 1. Season 1 is, I think, just such a good season of television. It is so good at setting up all of the pieces, all of the characters. You get invested right away, and leads to one very big and very surprising twist. And I'm sure someone's gonna be like, oh, I saw it coming. Cool, good for you. But again, we are trained in our media to think that the good guy is going to survive. So when he doesn't, that is such a dramatic choice and so cool for setting you up for your expectations for the rest of the series going forward. Sean Bean, you have my heart. Next, we have season 2. Again, another really great setup and then deepening of the story. This is another one I should have mentioned earlier. Book 1 is adapted very closely in season 1 of Game of Thrones. Not perfectly, there are things, but season 2 very similar. It's a pretty damn faithful adaptation, and I adore it. You get to expand the world a lot. We get to see new locations with Daenerys over in Essos. You get to meet Stannis and Melisandre and Davos. It's so good. Also, Tyrion's arc, season 2 for Tyrion is possibly my favorite season of his, when he gets to, be Hand of the King and just play around with people and exercise power. It's such a fascinating thing. This is the best of the politically seasons. Also, Battle of Blackwater Bay is wild. I think that's probably my favorite battle in the entire series. And of course, that leaves season 3. Despite having the worst poster, I think you have the best season. Season 3 is crazy. And you can tell this is the season that the showrunners were waiting to make. And it's clear in the effort that goes into it. The Red Wedding is heartbreaking. Daenerys getting the Unsullied is such a moment. You have Tyrion and Joffrey just at each other's throats, throw Cersei in there. Everything is just firing on all cylinders, and this season just is incredible. Anyway, tell me what your favorite season is in the comments, and okay, goodbye.